He'll pitch this into the far corner. Can Lennon run this? Yes. Cut back pass. Mosquera takes a touch. Edge of the 6. Drop back. Here's a shot. Score! Thiago Almada! And now Atlanta United is right back in this with 15 minutes to play.
You create your own luck in this game, and Edwin Mosquera created this whole opportunity. Almada played it out wide. Lennon saved it, knocked it back to Mosquera, who dribbled inside the 18. It's knocked away from Mosquera to the top of the 18, and Thiago Almada hits it first time low, beats Dorado to that post, 1-1, and Atlanta's got the momentum now. Buckle up, folks.
This will be a chaotic final 15 minutes. Remember, the match cannot end in a draw. Cruz Azul kicks off and moves from left to right. 2 subs for Atlanta coming. This is pitched up to the halfway line, knocked down by Lennon. To Alonso, tried to flick it forward to Josetu, but it didn't get there. Then Alonso wins the ball back. Mayumba plays it off to the right. It is trapped by Josetu, who flicks over to Mosquera along the far touchline. He fakes the pitch and then will drive centrally and then flick it back to Mayumba. Lets that roll through to Almada. Almada off the edge of center circle, sending it past the referee to Mosquera, just outside the 18. He'll pop it into the box for Mayumba. Race to the ball at the end line. The roll out for goal kick.
Tristan Mayumba. Robinson sliding over to the left, and I think this is because of Antuna. So watch the permutations of this. Atlanta will make sure they're covered. It's probably more than likely going to be 3 center backs here and a left wing back with Lennon as a right wing back.
But I think it's a pragmatic play here by Pineda as the throw is stabbed down by Alonso, passes to Guzan, who sends it down the right wing to Lennon. Lennon along the far touchline now dribbles back into the far corner, gives it there to Parata, who pitches clear to the halfway line. And it's knocked away by Duenas into the central channel. And it is run down by Abram, who plays it ahead now. This is Thiago Almada coming down the middle, threading it through a beautiful ball to Mosquera at the left end line. He traps, he dribbles back to the top of the 18. Here's his cross, Mayumba, dispossessed at the edge of the 6 and knocked out for a corner by Salcedo.
It's Edwin Mosquera who has come over to the left side. He is a wing back with 3 center backs, Robinson on the left, Abram in the middle, Parata on the right. Brooks Lennon is the right wing back.
It's not a corner, it's goal kick. They're saying that was last off Mosquera.
Off Mayumba. Not sure about that call, but okay.
Nor am I. As we're in the 81st minute now. This portion of the match brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. The all-electric Mercedes-Benz lineup is here. Cruz Azul going direct over the top. That idea fails since it's headed by Parata over to Robinson on the near touchline. He'll turn, and then he arm bars Antuna, and Antuna is called for the foul because he grabbed it in as well.
Yeah. Antuna's trying to grab Robinson. Robinson knows it's coming. He's played Antuna so many times with the U.S. men's national team and El Tri. He makes sure that he is preemptive, that he's not going to get dispossessed there.
82nd minute of a 1-1 match. Here's a ball down the middle for Alonso, a top center circle. They'll flick there to Josetu. Drop back at Brom, square to Parata. Parata playing it up to the right halfway line to Lennon. Squared back behind center circle now to Mateus Josetu. Josetu drawing a 1v2, drops it back now to Abram, who threads it up to Robinson, who will cross the left halfway line and stop just in front of it and flick to Almada. Almada playing a long diagonal, looking for Lennon. Will it connect in the far corner? Yes. Lennon dribbling now on Rotondi, and Rotondi collides with him. The ball skitters to the end line, and it will be out for a corner off Willard Dita.
Great pressure from Lennon after he was stuffed on the cross. He didn't give up on the play. Popped back up to his feet, put pressure on Dita, who just joined the team, didn't play in that game in Fort Lauderdale, and he gives away a corner.
Now Atlanta's fifth corner of the match coming in the 83rd minute. Brooks Lennon will send it out to the far corner, goal to our right. It's a 1-1 match. Winner advances, loser eliminated, and there can be no draw tonight.
Thiago Almada on the very deep backside of the play. Lots of targets around the penalty spot for Atlanta.
Here's Lennon up to it, and it's an outswinger to the penalty spot, headed clear. Out to Ozzie Alonso. Volleys it forward to Almada outside the left corner of the 18. Dribble, shoots through traffic, blocked away at the penalty spot. Out to Mosquera, who's playing free safety, and he'll drop it back to Guzan, 30 yards off his line.
Really good work there from Edwin. He's an attacking winger, but he can play wingback, and it's something that Gonzalo Pineda and his staff have been working with him on. Gives him a little more versatility.
Alonso sending it up to Almada at the left halfway line. He'll square it across center circle to the right side to Lennon. Flick through now to Mayumba. Has come over to the right side. He'll play it back to Lennon in the far corner. Here's Lennon's cross at the penalty spot. Yakimakis shoots it. It's blocked over the crossbar by a diving Salcedo for a corner.
Carlos Salcedo just kept Cruz Azul alive because Yakimakis had the second goal headed towards the back of the net.
Duenas coming off now for Cruz Azul. They'll be down to one substitution opportunity left. Christian Tabot, the 29-year-old from Uruguay, comes on.
Tabot, an attacking player. Duenas, one of the holding midfielders. I'll be curious to see how this reshapes Cruz Azul, and Atlanta's got to be paying very close attention to see what the adjustments are from La Máquina.
No way they would go to two up top, is there?
Yeah, absolutely. There'd be a way they go to two up top. They want to win. They don't want to go to penalties. Nobody wants to go to penalties.
Oh, so nervy here as we cross into the 85th minute. 1-1. Lennon to send us out to the far corner. Goal to our left again.
Tabot can play up top. He can also play on the wing.
It's been all Atlanta here in the second half. They're out shooting Cruz Azul 12-4. Cruz Azul only one shot in the second half. Lennon out of the far corner, up to it, outswinger to the near post, headed away pretty easily by Rivera. Back into the midfield to Ozzie Alonso. Alonso then dispossessed, but that's going to roll out for a throw along the far touchline to Atlantic United.
Atlanta can get reset here, reshaped.
85th minute. Be thrown off the far touchline by Brooks Lennon. Cruz Azul fans thinking maybe Atlanta United is time wasting here. I'm not sure about that.
No.
It's thrown into Mayumba. Played down the middle for Yakimakis, who was repelled off the ball, and it's cleared by Cruz Azul to Robinson, who flicks it ahead to Alonso, who's pushed down from behind and fouled at the halfway line by Tabot.
No, the buzz in the building, it's just nerves. That's all it is. Every moment now means everything.
Bozetto off the free kick down the middle. Yakimakis turning and dispossessed. He was in a 1v2. He counter presses for the ball, but it's going to bounce to Dita. Sends it ahead now to Rotondi. 86th minute. Rotondi a long diagonal. Under it is Rivero, and he collides with Mosquera as the ball trickles out for an Atlanta throw on the near touchline.
It's great work by Edwin Mosquera, who not somebody that you typically want in aerial duels. He got the position and drew the contact to get possession off the restart.
It's actually a free kick, not a foul. Atlanta in possession anyway. It looks like Atlanta is preparing a final sub now. No, maybe not. As it's played down the near touchline to Mayumba. Dribbles to the left side of the 18. Now into the box. Mayumba takes a touch. Pull that from behind. That takes him off the ball. Mosquera back on it. He's clawed out. Dribbles to the edge of the 6. His cross is stuffed out over the end line. What's it going to be? Goal kick.
I don't know how that's a goal kick. We'll get another look at it.
Twice now in the same spot of the park where it looks like Atlanta earned a corner and it was not given. Let's see.
Mosquera pounced on the loose ball, just trying to get through traffic and make something happen. It comes back off him. It's really unlucky for Mosquera there. The referee crew gets that right. It's an attempted clearance over the end line, and it comes off of a falling Edwin Mosquera.
87th minute now. Cruz Azul from left to right. Here's a pitch over the top, headed away by Robinson to the halfway line. Almada digs and draws a foul from behind by Carlos Rodriguez. Quick free kick taken by Almada. It's a square ball to the right side to Lennon. 87th minute. Lennon flicking back a top center circle to Almada. He gets it right back to Lennon. Right back to Almada again along the right halfway line. Almada pitching to the left wing. Chested down by Mayumba. It rolls to Josetu, flicks over to Abram along the near touchline. Back in the middle, Mayumba gives it away. It's cleared, but to Miles Robinson. Played ahead to Alonso now. Turning at the halfway line, dribbling to the edge of center circle, sending it down the middle. Yakimakis with a flick to Almada. Almada then dispossessed by Escobar.
Bumped but not fouled.
Back the other way, cruises. Well, here's a steal by Josetu. Sent down the left wing to an open Mosquera. Left corner of the 18. Dribbles to the end line. Pops across over the crossbar.
Tried to hit the stutter step there on the dribble. Mosquera got the defender leaning, but he couldn't recover to put in a good cross.
88th minute. Clearly all the momentum on the side of Atlanta. But if they don't earn a second goal, this game goes to penalties.
You just don't want to go to penalties. You've got to try to find a way to win it. You don't want your future in this competition to come down to penalties.
From left to right, here's a clearing ball up to the halfway line. Abram hits it back into the Cruz Azul end. Now it pinballs to the edge of center circle. It's dug down by Tabo, who plays it over to Rivero. Sends it up to Antuna in the near corner. Fans come to their feet as Antuna dribbles on Abram, puts a cross into the back post, and it's chested out for a corner by Lennon, taking no chances, even though it looked like that was going to go out.
There's two players right there. He can't afford to let that drop, and if it drops on the line and then pop back across, Cruz Azul could be celebrating a goal. Atlanta's got to defend now, and when they win this, they've got to look for their opportunity to break.
Atlanta has put a final sub into the technical area, but it looks like Cruz Azul, I think, is going to take the corner first, as Rodriguez goes into the far corner to take it. Now they are going to allow the sub, I believe.
Yes.
Miguel Berry has come into the technical area for Mateus Josetu. That might be a preemptive sub for penalties.
It's twofold. It is for that, but it's also you have another second attacking player on. If you can bomb it forward, make something happen.
Atlanta is out of subs.
He helps defend here, too. A big body inside the 18 to help win this corner.
Out of the far corner, goal to our right. We're in the 90th minute of a 1-1 match. Atlanta United and Cruz Azul both in a must-win game. It's Rodriguez playing it up to the top of the 18. And then play back to Rodriguez on the edge of the 18. Here's a cross and a shank shot. Rebound, deflects right to Bradner's hand. Ball's over.
Miles Robinson with a key block there. He steps out as Cruz Azul had worked a corner very well into the 18. But Robinson stuffs the shot.
How much added time will there be? We are deep into the 90th minute of a 1-1 match. Guzan puts the ball down and drives this down the center of the park for Barry. Actually, it lands at Yakimakis' boots, and then he collides and is fouled in the central channel. This is interesting. It's about 35 yards from goal as we cross into stoppage time.
Great work by Atlanta United there. That's another reason you bring a second big forward on. You can be direct. You don't have to risk anything in those moments. Play it long, see what happens. They get a free kick. I think it's outside of Almada's range, but you can make something happen out of it.
They're trying to bait Yakimakis in the cards here. Salcedo went forehead to forehead with him. Now we have an entanglement that the referee has got to sort out.
A lot of nothing.
There was, however, a yellow card shown at the very beginning of all this against a Cruz Azul player.
I think for dissent.
As Parata pulls Yako away from all of that. So they're going to play 5 added minutes. But here's what's interesting, Jason. You have Almada square to the middle of the net from about 35 yards. Probably too far to go for goal. But so I think Salcedo was shown the yellow.
Salcedo fouled Yakimakis, kicked him in the underside of the foot. And then in all the shenanigans afterwards, Salcedo trying to get a card on Yakimakis didn't happen.
2 Cruz Azul players have stood right over the ball with Thiago Almada, and you can only imagine what that conversation must be like.
Thiago's hurt a lot worse in Buenos Aires.
I think Yakimakis was just shown a yellow.
Nah.
Irrelevant at this point. You're deep into stoppage time of a 1-1 match.
5 minutes were shown. There's going to be more added now because that was shown really at the foul, and it's a minute 15 past the 90 minutes.
All right, action at the goal to our left. Square to goal from 35 yards out. Thiago Almada standing over the ball. A widely spaced wall at the top of the 18.
It's not really a wall. It's one person.
And it'll be a pitch to the back post. Header bounces right into the arms of the goalkeeper off of Miles Robinson.
Got the look you wanted. Robinson did not catch that all that well. Easy save for Urado.
probably about 5 minutes left. As this will be drop kicked by Warado. This goes straight up the elevator shaft into the Atlanta United end, and it's headed forward by Robinson. Bounces wide of center circle, wide of Barry, and down to the boots of Rodriguez. Now Cruz Azul moving from left to right, trying to steal this one at the end. Atlanta has dominated the second half. Salcedo near center spot. Long diagonal up to Rotondi. Traps 40 yards from goal on the left side. Square it to Tebow. Tebow turns and is met by Barry. That forces the ball back to Dita, who returns it to Tebow along the far touchline. They go back to Dita again. Dita now will back pass to the goalkeeper, Warado. 2.5 minutes plus as Warado sends it down the left wing, headed forward by Miles Robinson. Lands at the boots of Almada, who flicks it to Mosquera. Slowly dribbles down the left wing. Then it bounces back to him off Escobar. Here's his cross that rolls by everyone into the far corner. No teammates are there.
Little behind Giacomakis. Mosquera just trying to get something into the 18 there as the ball's bouncing and deflected through in his initial run.
We are truly in a win-or-lose situation for both sides right now. Here's a steal by Lennon along the far touchline. He takes it off the touchline to save the throw. He drops it back to Robinson, who's under pressure. He'll back pass to Guzan. Guzan then calmly clears it over to Abram in the left defensive third. He'll send it down the middle to Alonso, and Atlanta United can attack from right to left with Alonso below center circle, flicking to Almada. Almada now up to the left halfway line. Clawed at by Tebow, no foul. Tebow dispossesses him and drives down the middle into the attacking third. Tebow fakes the shot, now to the right side of the 18. His cross is stuffed by Alonso, out for a corner.
Good recovery run from Alonso. Thiago Almada trying to dribble Tebow in the middle third. The substitute, the Uruguayan, takes it away from him, but he couldn't get a clean look at goal. Tried the little pump fake. Atlanta didn't fall for it, and Alonso blocks the cross, but now a corner to defend for the Five Stripes.
It'll be sent out of the near corner by Rivero. Action at the goal to our right. We're in stoppage time of a 1-1 match.
Maybe 90 seconds left.
Win or lose situation here for both sides as Rivero backs up to the ad hoardings. Short corner option is Rodriguez. They'll go long to the penalty spot. Headed away convincingly, but out in the midfield. This is Rotondi sending it back in, and we've got a foul on Cruz Azul.
Giacomakis with the diving header to head that away, and he earned the foul.
Guzan going straight down the middle to Almada. He's in a 1v1 here with Dita. They collide. It's going to be knocked out at the corner flag. Offside Almada, as it was sent out for what would have been a corner, but they're going to call Almada offside somehow.
He's offside on the ball from Guzan.
So now, with just seconds to play in regulation, as we're in the 5th of 5 added minutes, but time should be added back on for the foul sequence at the start of stoppage time. It'll be a free kick to Cruz Azul outside their 18. Warada will take it. They blow for full time, and we're going to go to penalties with the winner moving on and the loser being eliminated from League's Cup. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification.
The Atlanta United play here.
WZGC Atlanta, WZGC HD1. Always free on the Odyssey app.
I don't know what would have happened. We'll never know what would have happened, but that is some very iffy timekeeping.
He didn't add more for the dust-up at the beginning of it. He didn't add anything extra. He said 5. He played 5. It's at the discretion of the referee. Now it comes down to penalties.
There's a pitch invasion in the Atlanta United technical area that's quelled kind of quickly by security. So now, for only the second time in Atlanta United's competitive history, they did have a penalty shootout against Leones Negros in the 2019 preseason. That was a preseason match. For only the second time in Atlanta United's competitive history, the first of the 2017 MLS Cup playoffs, Atlanta United is going to a penalty shootout. The good news is that Atlanta United is at home. They'll have the home fans behind them. The bad news, as I mentioned earlier, is Atlanta United is converting penalties at only a 25% clip this year by far.
That's in the run of play. Yeah, this is completely different. You could be 5 of 5 in penalties in the run of play and lose a shootout. It's a completely different game now.
As for the goalkeepers, just sorry to interrupt you. Guzan 0 for 1 on penalties with a miss on top of it on the year. Dorado in the Apertura, 0 for 1 on penalties. Atlanta United, prior to the Vela miss, the last penalty saved by Brad Guzan was in October of 2019 by Federico Higuain. Now, again, not in a shootout situation, but just providing some context to Atlanta United's penalty history.
This is completely different, though. This is a competition now. This is about mentality. This is about keeping the nerves down. This is about, you're asking your goalkeeper if he can make one save. One save. That's all you're asking for out of your goalkeeper. If Brad Guzan can make one save, Atlanta United has to win. They have to convert these. You're looking at Thiago Almada, Yorgos Giacomakis, Brooks Lennon, Miguel Berry. I would assume Berry's going to take one. I don't know maybe who the fifth one is. I mean, Tristan Muyamba has given you everything you could ever imagine in this game and more. That's asking a lot for him to go to the spot.
We asked Gonzalo Pineda prior to the Miami match on Tuesday, what's his philosophy with penalties, and he said put the best guy first, which is not an uncommon philosophy.
No, that's very typical. You see Lionel Messi go first for Argentina many, many times. It's where you go after that, though. That's the challenge, and you have to deal with the momentum. First off, you want to shoot first, in my opinion. You want to be able to shoot first. You then put the pressure on the opposition. However, if you shoot first and you don't convert, all that pressure just flips back on top of your head. So you want to go first, but you've got to be good out of the gates. And then it's emotional swings. And you've got to handle those moments if someone misses, if it gets saved. You've got to be able to, in that moment, when you start walking from the center circle to the penalty spot, you've got to do everything to slow your breathing, to calm down, to get there, know exactly what you want to do, and then execute.
All right, we're getting the coin toss now. Guzan and Escobar, the captains. And the referee is showing the captains the coin. Escobar has already pointed to the goal to our right, but I don't think they flipped the coin yet. At least I don't think. Seems to be a conversation on what's heads and tails. Atlanta wins the toss, and Brad Guzan says we're going first. And at least that's what I assume he said.
There's different strategies about it. I would always want to go first.
The action will be at the goal to our right. So this will be not in front of the Atlanta supporters, but more in front of a split crowd who's now kind of running down to the front row in front of the goal to our right. Atlanta is going first, and Brooks Lennon, who has not attempted a penalty this year, will be first to take.
Not many people have attempted penalties this year. That's what this comes down to. Brooks Lennon has taken penalties after training. He has converted the ones that I've seen. He scored on a free kick in regulation in a match. Brooks Lennon's a veteran. He has the opportunity to put the 5 stripes up first.
Lennon against Dorado at the goal to our right. This is the first attempt of the penalty shootout. The winner of the shootout advances to play Charlotte on Wednesday. The loser is eliminated. And Lennon is up to it and strikes it, and it is in the back of the net. Atlanta with the early 1-0 lead. The goalkeeper, Dorado, did guess correctly, diving to his right, may have gotten a piece, but it's in the back of the net.
I think he got his hand to it low, but Lennon put it in a good spot.
1-0 Atlanta United. First attempt coming up now for Cruz Azul. I believe this is Carlos Salcedo walking up to the penalty spot to face Brad Guzan. Salcedo, who played in MLS with Real Salt Lake and Toronto. 29-year-old with 3 caps for El Tri. Will try to level the shootout here on the first attempt. Action at the goal to our right. Guzan standing right in the middle of the goal mouth. Now actually backs up behind the goal line. He cannot come off his line, as you know. Salcedo standing to the left of the ball. Hands on hips. First Cruz Azul attempt. Salcedo's gotten the whistle. He's up to it. He strikes it, and it's off the crossbar. Atlanta United with a 1-0 lead after the first round.
Brad Gazan guessed correctly. Salcedo doesn't even test him. It goes off the top of the bar and out. Atlanta has an opportunity to go up 2-0, and wouldn't you know it, it's Tristan Muyamba who is stepping up to take it. What a debut for Muyamba tonight.
He has really been phenomenal in a match where, candidly, we were told by Gonzalo Pineda he thought maybe Muyamba could play only 45 to 60 minutes tonight, but he's gone the full 90, and now he has a chance to give Atlanta United a 2-0 lead in this penalty shootout.
He's been that good, and I would assume he said, give me the ball.
Action again at the goal to our right. There's the whistle. Muyamba trots up to the ball, strikes it, and scores! 2-0 Atlanta United. And now the pressure really on Cruz Azul as Ignacio Rivera walks up to the spot.
Tristan Muyamba with a debut for the ages for Atlanta United. Went way beyond the amount of time that we thought he could just ideally play, and he played so well, contributed late, and he converts in the shootout.
Rivero, who is 31 years old, from Uruguay, played for Defensa y Justicia, and is now in his third year with Cruz Azul.
Was with Xolos before Cruz Azul. Brad Gazan, a little bit of gamesmanship. The ball's in the back of the net. He doesn't have to go get it for Cruz Azul. He says, nah, I'm good. I'm going to walk around a little bit.
So he makes the referee do that. Rivero is one of only 3 Cruz Azul players who have scored since the start of the Apertura season in the run of play. If he misses or if Guzan makes a save, Atlanta would really be in the driver's seat here, leading 2-0 on this, the second attempt for Cruz Azul. Action at the goal to our right. Rivero standing behind and to the left of the ball. He's up to it. He stepped over the ball. There's a whistle.
The whistle was blown. I don't necessarily know why.
Now we have the referee tapping his ear, and Brad Guzan is having a discussion with him.
I don't know what the issue is here.
I didn't see an AR put a flag up.
There's nothing to put a flag up about. He didn't shoot.
Guzan now being ordered back into his net.
I don't.
Oh, there was a laser. Someone is pointing a laser at Brad Guzan.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay.
All right, actually well handled by the referee.
Yes.
Terrible by whatever fan is doing it.
It's going to mess up Rivero more than anything, potentially.
Could. All right, here's the attempt again for Rivero. Behind the ball and to the left. He's up to it. He strikes it and scores.
Oh, good penalty. Didn't mess Rivero up at all. He goes into the upper 90 on the right.
2-1 Atlanta through 2 attempts. Atlanta United still in the driver's seat as we get ready for the third attempt of 5. Rivero making an interesting celebratory motion after all of that as Miguel Berry walks up to the penalty spot for Atlanta United. So maybe a wee bit crude by Rivero, but
there's lots of games within the game going on right now.
All right, Berry has scored once in open play this year. This is his first penalty attempt. 25-year-old Spaniard. This to give Atlanta United a 3-1 lead in the third round. Action at the goal to our right. Berry up to it, strikes it, save. Diving save to Larado's left. And Cruz Azul can pull even now if they score on this attempt. It's 2-1 Atlanta with Cruz Azul's third attempt coming.
Now that momentum swings the other way. We're basically back to even. Cruz Azul has to convert here to keep it that way. Not far enough in the corner. It's a good save from Larado. He's at full stretch. Doesn't have to get the arm all the way out to make the save. Berry didn't test him enough, but it's a good save from Larado, who guessed correctly.
Christian Tabot walking up to the penalty spot. He's played only 12 minutes plus tonight on the year. And this to even the penalty shootout in the third attempt. Action at the goal to our right. He's up to it. He strikes it, scores. Blasts it past the right of Guzan. And it's 2-2 through 3 attempts with 2 to go in this winner-go-home shootout.
Power down the middle, really. Guzan took a step to the right. Tabot just blasts this one through the middle, or actually through to his left. It's so fast that Guzan doesn't have time to react.
Here comes Atlanta United's star boy to the penalty spot, Thiago Almada. who has had a very checkered history with penalty shots this year. This will be his 4th attempt of the year. He is 1 for 3 on penalties this season. Action at the goal to our right. Almada right up to it and strikes it. Score! No doubt about that one. Atlanta 3-2 in the 4th round of penalties.
A little bit different that time from Thiago Almada. We've seen the little short steps running up, trying to get the keeper to move to one side. This time he just goes straight through it, picked the side, and put it in there.
Carlos Rotondi, the 26-year-old from Argentina, walks up to the penalty spot. Played for Newell's in Defensa e Justicia. Came from Newell's Old Boys youth system. And now, with a chance to level the shootout in the 4th round, he stands directly behind the ball. He's up to it. He strikes it and scores. 3-3, and now we go into the 5th round.
We're basically into sudden death now. This is the 5th round. You have to make, and you have to have the opponent miss. Both miss, then you keep going.
Yorgos Yakimakis walking up to the penalty spot for Atlanta United. As Jason told you, this is as close to do or die as it can be without it actually being do or die.
Atlanta goes first, so they have the opportunity here to put the pressure on Cruz Azul, but Yorgos Yakimakis has to hit the back of the net here.
Yorgos has not taken a penalty this year for Atlanta United, but as you know, he has scored 10 goals. Action again at the goal to our right. Lorado, both arms extended up to the crossbar. Yakimakis to the left of the ball. He's up to it, strikes it, score! Now, Atlanta United, with one more save or miss in this round, can win the game and advance in the League's Cup.
Yorgos does his job. The pressure's all on Cruz Azul now. They have to convert.
How did I forget? Excuse me. Boom, Yakimakis.
There you go.
I doubt we'll see him again in this shootout. If we do, we would be into double-digit attempts.
Well, that's already happened in this competition once.
Now it is up to Uriel Antuna to keep the shootout going for Cruz Azul. Win or lose situation. It is 4-3 Atlanta United in the 5th round of penalties.
Brad Gazan, top of the 6th, was staring him down, slowly backing into the goal.
Antuna dropping back to the edge of the 18. Guzan in the center of his net. There's the whistle. Antuna slowly to the left and now up to the ball. He stops. He's back up to the ball. He strikes it and scores. 4-4, and now we go into sudden death rounds.
All the stutter steps from Antuna. Gazan waited him out as long as he could. Guessed to his right. Antuna put it into the other side.
I thought he psyched himself out, to be totally honest with you. But good on Antuna, and now we go into the 6th round, 4-4. Juanjo Peralta coming up to the penalty spot for Atlanta United. Peralta, 1 goal on the year, but he usually scores with his head, not his boots. And again, the winner moves on, the loser eliminated. Hands on hips for Peralta. He looks at the net. He struts up to the ball. He strikes it and misses. Now Cruz Azul can win if they put this one past Brad Guzan. He missed wide of the far post. Guzan goes up to Peralta to pat him on the back of the head.
Barely missed it.
Didn't miss by much.
Barely missed it. Low. Peralta trying to pick out that side netting. Goalkeeper went the other way, but it's just wide of the post. And now Brad Gazan has to make a save, or Cruz Azul has to miss.
Augusto Latti, another Argentine, came from the Racing Club system. If he converts here, Cruz Azul wins. They'll move on to play Charlotte. If Guzan makes a save or if Latti misses, the shootout continues. So it is truly sudden death now in the 6th round of penalties. Again, action at the goal to our right. Guzan standing behind the end line. Latti looking at the ball. He's up to it. He strikes it. He scores. Cruz Azul wins. Atlanta United is done in League's Cup. Tuca Ferretti may have saved his job, and Atlanta United, who had all the momentum in the second half, ends up in a penalty shootout that they do not win. And now 3 weeks of who knows what is coming for Atlanta United.
Brutal way to go out. Penalties are always the absolute worst way to go out of a competition, and especially after the second half that Atlanta United played. They threw everything forward. They got the equalizer with Almada. They had other opportunities. There's going to be questions asked about a possible red card. There's going to be questions asked about a possible handball in the 18 that could have led to a penalty in the first half. Those questions have to be asked the way this game turned out. But Atlanta United in the shootout could not get it done. It goes to the sixth round, and Cruz Azul, they'll move on to face Charlotte.
That match, I believe, will be played in Charlotte on Wednesday, and now Atlanta United will not play again until Sunday, August 22nd. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see how Atlanta United now deals with that layoff, which we'll get into on the full-time report. It does feel to me like maybe the vibe changed a little bit with the performance by Atlanta United tonight. Clearly a much better performance than Tuesday. Very, very cruel to go out in penalties. Now what? We will see over the next 3 weeks as Atlanta United prepares to play Seattle and save their league season. They are still above the playoff line on the Eastern Conference table with 10 matches to go. But Cruz Azul in penalties, getting 2 saves from Sebastian Guarado, defeating Atlanta United 5-4 in penalties. More to come in a moment on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
We all deserve easy mornings. Meet Daily Harvest, the easiest way to conquer your morning with quick, nourishing, and delicious food. Made with sustainably sourced fruits and veggies and delivered right to your door. Their strawberry and peach smoothie or apple and cinnamon oat bowl are the perfect addition to my morning routine. So don't wait. Go to dailyharvest.com and enter promo code HARVEST for up to $65 off your first order. That's dailyharvest.com, promo code HARVEST for up to $65 off.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Now through July 30th, new customers can get 200 megabit internet on the Xfinity 10G network for just $35 a month for 2 years with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Summer means hotter days. Avoid using heat-generating appliances like stoves and dishwashers during the day. Use them during off-peak hours in the evening to minimize the effects of heat and save on electric costs. Late evening and early morning is also the best time to water plants and lawns, as water is less prone to evaporation. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Lead is an invisible threat. It's especially unsafe for children because their bodies and brains are still developing. Lead exposure can come from paint in homes built before 1978, dust, soil, drinking water from older plumbing, and some imported goods. To find out if your child is being exposed to lead, talk to their doctor about a blood lead test today and visit michigan.gov/myleadsafe to learn more. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Our Atlanta United play here.
Now, back to more live MLS action
on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
In penalties, Cruz Azul defeats Atlanta United and moves on to the knockout phase of the Leagues Cup tournament, 5-4 in penalties. Atlanta United giving up an early goal in the 20th minute and then really outplaying Cruz Azul, getting the equalizer in the 75th minute from Thiago Almada. There were 2 incidents that I think are going to merit some further discussion. One, an apparent handball. That was in the first half on Carlos Salcedo that was not called and possibly not even checked by the VAR, according to the Slack channel. And then Yorgos Yakimakis getting his back ankle stepped on, studs up in second half action. That was checked for a red card. The red was not shown. It ends up going to penalties. Atlanta United does not win in penalties. A very dramatic match, entertaining for the fans that were here tonight. But Atlanta United is out of League's Cup, and after starting this month with such a good performance against Philadelphia and then following that up with a win over Montreal, they lose to New England, they lose to Orlando, they are blown out in Miami, and now they lose to Cruz Azul. And
they lose to Cruz Azul on penalties. It was a 1-1 draw in regulation, and it was a good comeback, and that has to be remembered. Look, this is the cruelty of penalties. This is the challenge. This is what's so awful about it. There's no other way to decide it. You're not going to play sudden death forever until somebody scores because there's physical limitations. But it is the worst way to decide a winner. And tonight, this is the tournament. You're going to have a shootout every draw. Tonight, it meant even more because whoever won the shootout was going to advance. It doesn't wash away the comeback. It doesn't wash away a good performance over 90 minutes. It doesn't wash that away. It's not a loss. It's not the same thing. And that's something I know people argue that, but I'm sorry, that's how stats work.
It goes in
it's
the
a draw.
It's a draw.
It's a draw.
It absolutely goes
it's
in the
a draw. Like there's just no way around it.
Yeah.
Penalties are brutal. And look, I know people are going to start jumping on Miguel Berry and Juano Purata. You have to give players who go up there and take that penalty in that moment, you have to give them respect. Berry's was saved. That's a good save from Jurado. Goalkeepers never get enough credit in shootouts. That's a good save from Jurado on the penalty from Berry. Purata missed by a foot, maybe a foot and a half.
No.
He had the testicular fortitude to step up and take that sixth. That's not, you mentioned it, it's not something that we expect normally. You know, I mean, there's when you get to six, you're getting into players who we're not going to take the first five. It's really, really difficult. But what you can't do is let a penalty shootout from 12 yards away, not in the run of play, you can't let that be the overriding factor in a game that was 90 minutes plus.
Yeah, I think we can all agree, I hope I'm being objective on this, that Atlanta United's performance today was much better than Tuesday. And if you're looking for positives to take out of this match tonight and try to take something into this 3-week layoff, there is that. I think we can all agree on that.
That's a fact. There's nothing. It's not even something that's an arguable thing.
I thought the performance was good.
It's definitely a good performance. Like, it's a good match from Atlanta United. You give up a goal, and we've seen it a million times, and it'll drive you insane. And I feel like I want to throw something out of the booth when I see the replay again. You give up a goal off a throw-in. You can't do that. You put yourself behind. We've had that conversation all season long. They fought back. The second half was good. The moves were good to open the game up. The switch to three in the back, good. You started to create more. Mosquera, electric coming into the game. Muyamba, we talked about it all night. He went longer and played better than you could have ever expected in his debut. Lots of good things tonight that are not eliminated from reality by the shootout. The shootout is brutal. It's brutal. I feel so bad for Berry and for Purata in those moments because that is such a difficult thing to do in that moment. They stepped up. You have to give that respect. They didn't blow it. They didn't have these horrible mistakes. One is saved, and Purata seriously missed by less than a yard.
Yeah, I feel really bad for Berry and Purata too, because Purata didn't miss by much. But Berry, it was just a goalkeeper making the ultimate
It's a good save. Berry could have put it further in the corner, of course. Like, you know, you'd love to put it in the perfect spot. He puts it on goal. It's a save from Jurado, who was named the man of the match here in the stadium.
Rightfully so.
He has to be in that.
Yeah, rightfully so. Made a good save on Amada in the run of play.
Good save on Yakimakis on that volley.
Okay, so that's it for Leagues Cup. Atlanta United now, all they can do now is concentrate on the remainder of the league season, which will resume 3 weeks from tomorrow in Seattle. Cruz Azul, as I mentioned, they advance now. They will play Charlotte Wednesday night unless Charlotte unthinkably collapses. They have a 3-0 lead on Necaxa in the 84th minute of that match. So looks like it'll be Charlotte and Cruzazul Wednesday. We will come back with a full-time report in a moment. Send us your questions and comments on Twitter, Mike Conti 929 and Longshoe. We'll hopefully hear from Gonzalo Pineda as well, and we'll go through the stats, the highlights, and everything from a very eventful night here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The Leagues Cup produced a lot of drama in this building tonight, and for the Cruz Azul fans, they will go home happy, winning in penalties over Atlanta United, 1-1, 5-4. More to come after this on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. They blow for full time. Full time!
You've been listening to Our Atlanta United.
Today's match is brought to you by Home Depot, with more ways to take on your home projects delivered right to your door. Home Depot, how doers get more done. Mercedes-Benz, the all-electric Mercedes-Benz lineup is here. AT&T, the official wireless partner of Atlanta United. Moe's Southwest Grill, welcome to Moe's. Piedmont, an official healthcare provider of Atlanta United. And Ford, visit your local Ford dealer. Next, it's Mike Conti and Jason Longshore as they take a complete look at today's game with the full-time report.
On the home for MLS in Atlanta, Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
We all deserve easy mornings. Meet Daily Harvest, the easiest way to conquer your morning with quick, nourishing, and delicious food. Made with sustainably sourced fruits and veggies and delivered right to your door. Their strawberry and peach smoothie or apple and cinnamon oat bowl are the perfect addition to my morning routine. So don't wait. Go to dailyharvest.com and enter promo code HARVEST for up to $65 off your first order. That's dailyharvest.com, promo code HARVEST for up to $65 off.
The second half of the baseball season is here, and each game means a little bit more. We're talking pennant races and wild card chases, with each pitch bringing us closer to the playoffs. The free Odyssey app lets you listen to live play-by-play of your local team. So no matter what you're up to, you'll never have to miss another game. Download the free Odyssey app today and keep baseball close by all summer long. That's AUDACY. Odyssey.
It's important to make sure you're hitting on draft picks. We know how you can get set back if you miss on draft picks. Can't afford to miss on high draft picks, obviously. You can't afford to miss really on any first-round draft picks, period. So without all those reasons being said, I think there is more pressure on the offensive side of the football to perform this year.
Subscribe to Peachtree Football, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Now through July 30th, new customers can get 200 megabit internet on the Xfinity 10G network for just $35 a month for 2 years with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Are you a physician in the Midwest? Do you have enough time to truly take care of your patients? At One Medical, our primary care physicians do. Join the team in our Milwaukee offices to spend more time with your patients, less time on admin tasks, and no time on call. Make a real difference with a team to support you. Sign-on bonuses and relocation packages may be available. Visit careers.onemedical.com to learn more and apply.
Don't give in to that constant joint pain. It's Carl Dukes. Take control. Take back the quality of your life today with help from QC Kinetics. Guys, QC Kinetics is helping people every day here and across the country with their amazing non-surgical treatments that repair and restore damaged joint tissue. They use the latest advances in regenerative medicine, taking your own body's healing agents and concentrating them right in the area where you have agonizing pain. This incredible non-invasive approach helps you take back control of your body, relieving the pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, or back. No invasive surgery, no harmful drugs or steroids, and no downtime. Listen, summertime needs to be all about having fun and making memories, golfing, hiking, enjoying the outdoors. Take control now and start living pain-free again. I want you to call QC Kinetics for your free consultation at 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. The nation's leader in regenerative medicine is QC Kinetics.
Hey, it's here to share with you what could be the fastest and easiest way to sell your home. It's even faster than number 13 stealing second. My friends and realtors, Lindy and Empower Home team with Keller Williams, remove the stress that comes with selling a home. Who wants showing after showing or to get kids and dogs out of the house and constantly keeping the house clean? It's the easiest, most simple way to sell your home, and here's how the program works. Call Lindy and tell her about your home. She will bring you multiple cash offer options. You pick one, and then you get to choose the closing date. No showings, no contingencies, and no inspections on these offers. That is right, multiple cash offers presented to you instantly. Lindy was honored to help Sue Long sell her home to a cash buyer who even paid above her desired price. Call the only ones I trust to sell my home. Call Lindy and Empower Home team today at 404-301-3303. That's 404-301-3303. Or go to LindyHasTheBuyers.com. That's LindyHasTheBuyers.com.
Win today, win now, win big with Oscar's, Jack's Pub, and J&J Gaming. Brand new machines, new games, win big and have fun. I just won. Enjoy happy hour Monday through Friday from 4 to 6. $5 Tito's and Captain, $4 White Claws, $4 23-ounce domestic drafts, 95-cent wings, half-price appetizers. Oscar's, Jack's Pub, and J&J Gaming. Win now, win big. Oscar's Pub and Grill, 5980 East State Street, Rockford, and Jack's Pub, 4160 North Perryville Road, Loves Park.
It's time for a look back on today's match.
This is the Full-Time Report with the voices of our Atlanta United, Mike Conti and Jason Longshore. The home for MLS in Atlanta. Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
All right, back live at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Full-Time Report. Atlanta United and Cruz Azul end regulation 1-1, and Cruz Azul wins the match in penalties 5-4, knocking Atlanta United out of Leagues Cup. Cruz Azul going to Charlotte Wednesday night. Miller, help me out. Is it Ferretti or Pineda at the podium right now? Do you know which coach is at the podium right now? Nobody yet. Okay. I thought I heard Jason Kirksey was at the podium. That's what I heard. Jason is the press officer for CONCACAF tonight, and he was giving some instructions to the media. So if Gonzalo Pineda comes to the podium here in the next couple minutes, we'll go to that. But in the meantime, look, I think, again, it would be very, very hard for me to accept an argument that this was not a good performance by Atlanta United tonight. Certainly much better than Tuesday in Miami, but penalties are cruel. And unfortunately, Atlanta United was in a position where this went to a penalty shootout because they conceded a goal in the 20th minute. They absolutely had all the momentum in the second half. They finally get the equalizer in the 75th minute. They almost got the game winner. A couple very, very good saves in regulation by Sebastian Guarado, the Cruz Azul goalkeeper, and then a big save in penalties on Miguel Berry, and that's why Atlanta United is going home.
Looks like Gonzalo Pineda is going to the podium now, from the word I'm getting from downstairs.
Okay, that's good. Why don't we go down to that?
Hi, Coach. You said on Friday that the number one thing the team needed to improve upon from Miami was to be clinical in front of both goals. Do you feel the team did well enough on both ends in that area tonight?
I would say yes. It's just the final execution in the attacking half. I think we were not as clinical as I wanted, but I think we did a good game. Felipe?
Gonzalo, this is obviously a big tournament for MLS and for the league. Garth Lager was saying earlier this year that this is a huge tournament for Atlanta United. The preseason was built around playing against Mexican sides, and now you guys are out of the tournament, the second tournament that Atlanta United is eliminated from this season. How disappointing is it? And what's obviously MLS Cup to play for, but just what's the assessment right now?
Very disappointed with this one. I think we deserve better, but this is football. I saw a big improvement in the team. I think we did a great job in many different phases of the game. But football is like this, and we couldn't succeed on this one. We'll be, of course, reflecting and, trying to assess our performance overall and try to be better. That's always the goal. There are 10 games left in the season. August the 20th, Seattle Sounders away. It's a big task for the team. So we have now 3 weeks to prepare that and to go for those 30 points and try to get as many as possible.
Go down here on the end.
Gonzalo, you talked about those little moments that happened in matches, and it looked like what came up in the first half when Cruz scored in the first half. Again, the attacker left open on the left side. I mean, what is the breakdown in that situation? And again, how does Atlanta United correct it?
Yeah, I think it was a mistake. I think we were doing a good job on solving those long switches of play, shifting over properly. We tried to be more aggressive, especially with the wingers. And in that play, Miles jumps for the ball, and Ronald with so much energy and trying to do the best, he goes for the same ball, and then both of them don't make contact, and then the second ball goes for them inside the box. So that's what happened. It's of course a mistake, but it's unfortunate because the team was doing a good job.
Go down front here with Donnell.
Coach, with the exception of the guy in Miami, is Amaro the best player in MLS?
He's the best player for me, but obviously it's up to opinions. I think Thiago had a very good performance again. I think having a lot of players now that he can combine with help a lot. I think, of course, Tristan, you saw a little bit of who he is and why we signed him. But also Rossetto, Amar. I mean, there were so many good possession sequences where when Thiago is around those type of players, I think he's going to shine even more. So he had a big game, but unfortunate again, on penalties, we're out.
Go to John in the middle.
Coach, you mentioned briefly about the debut of Muyumba. I wanted to know what you thought specifically more of his game tonight and also of Edwin's game, bringing that speed down the left-hand side, creating opportunities with Mosquera and Muyumba. What did you think?
Yes, well, starting with Edwin, I think he changed a little bit the game for us. We were paying attention to our right side. We were not as decisive in the first half. I think Riveros was doing a good job on Brooks. And then we tried to change that with Edwin. Eventually, he impacted the game. He had the assist in Thiago's goal, and he was very, dangerous on both sides. He brings energy, and he's very good at unbalancing the opponents, getting into prime assist zones, dangerous areas. And of course, the development for him is the decision making and the final pass. But he had a very good game as well. And Tristan, who I'm very impressed with. Of course, you always watch film on signings, and you are excited about that and what he can be, but you never know until you see him live, right? And there were good moments in training sessions, and today you saw what he can bring. A physical guy, a guy that changed the pace, that plays simple, but also can dribble past people, that his decision making is very good, he's clever, and also can unbalance the back line with some runs inside the box. And he's still not 100% fit. So it's looking forward to his development and his integration to the team and him fully fit. I think he's going to be a great signing for us.
Back here, back right.
Gonzalo, buenas noches. Felipe Valenzuela, Univisión Los Ángeles. ¿Qué decepcionado estás con el equipo? ¿Qué te falló para obtener la victoria? ¿Y qué te ha parecido el torneo de la Leagues Cup? Si es una buena opción para los equipos de la MLS, para la Liga MX, y que también se suspende por de pronto la temporada, ¿no? No sé si baja el ritmo o sube el ritmo.
La verdad es que tu primera pregunta no sé si es decepcionado por el resultado o decepcionado con el equipo. Estoy muy decepcionado con el resultado, pero muy orgulloso del equipo. Se brindaron al 200%, hicieron un grandísimo esfuerzo. Creo que por grandes lapsos del partido superamos a Cruz Azul, fuimos mucho más peligrosos, generamos muchas ocasiones de gol en mi forma de verlo, y no pudimos concretar, que es la parte que es lamentable del encuentro, porque los muchachos jugaron muy bien al fútbol. Y bueno, después lo del torneo, pues así es, esas son las reglas, ya sabemos y bueno, trataremos de ajustar. Tenemos 3 semanas para preparar el próximo partido de liga y tratar de llegar en la mejor forma física y mental.
We'll take 3 more questions from the room before we get to the Zoom.
Gonzalo.
We'll go back here, back left.
Gonzalo, ¿cómo va? ¿Todo bien?
Todo bien, Diego.
Bueno, nada, quería preguntarte más allá de...
All right. This is where I wish I had taken Spanish in high school, not French. I wish I could do better in translating that, but clearly now we're into the Spanish language portion of Gonzalo Pineda's remarks. But Gonzalo sounds like a very, very disappointed manager.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, his team played well. His team, the moves that he made today, and this has been a topic of conversation, is making adjustments and changing things, whether it's game to game, whether it's half to half. The moves he made today paid off. The goal that was conceded had nothing to do with moves that were made today. It had nothing to do with tactics. It had nothing to do with the way the team played, the identity. It had nothing to do with the way the team's trained. It's a mistake where 2 players go for the same ball. And Miles Robinson, Ronald Hernandez both go for it. I was kind of curious to see if Gonzalo would say, and it's a credit to him as a manager who I think really is intelligent in how he handles his players. He didn't assign blame to one or the other. I think Ronald is the one who's maybe a little overreaching there, trying to get to that spot. But Miles doesn't win it either, and he's there as well, and it's more of his guy, so it doesn't happen. And there's no blame there from the manager to the players. It is a mistake that happens in a bad spot. Has nothing to do with the changes that he made. The changes that he made paid off. I thought the midfield was very good. I thought the midfield that was very fluid with Mateus Osechu, Amar Sejdic, Tristan Muyumba was very, very good in controlling the play. Thiago Almada joining that midfield when situations called for it, also stretching the field a little bit to the left when situations called for it. I thought that worked really well. Brooks Lennon wasn't able to make things happen down the right. Worked hard, didn't have his game today, and it was the same on Tuesday. He's been so good this season. He's human. He worked well. He didn't play well. So the opportunity then to bring on Mosquera, put him as the winger, drop Lennon to the right back, that worked. And you started to see opportunities come from that side. Then when you have to make a change because Wiley is cramping up, it appears, and that question wasn't asked, I'm assuming, based off the way he was being stretched after a collision, he couldn't continue. And you didn't have, because you started Hernandez and Lennon together and you had subbed Hernandez, you couldn't make that move to pull him over to the left side. So you had to really go with a little bit of a hybrid, a little bit of 3 center backs, like we saw on Tuesday, with Abraham as the left-sided of the center back. So he's kind of a left back, kind of a left-sided center back. Mosquera is a wing back on that side who would drop when he had to, but you wanted him to stretch the game on the left, and I thought he did. I thought he was very effective in those moments. And then the other side of being a manager in these moments and making changes or not making changes. And there's been a lot of conversation this week about the U.S. women's national team and Vlatko Andonovski using 1 sub. And how could you? That's a disgrace. And you cost the game. His team had 5 of the 6 last chances in the game. You don't just make subs to make subs. You have to make the right subs, or you have to continue with what's working. Tristan Muyumba was working. And we had the conversation with Gonzalo yesterday after training. The idea was 50 to 55. And 55, it felt like it was stretching it. He was ready at halftime. If he had to make the sub then, okay, he felt like Alonso could go 45 if he had to and do like for like. Well, when you're in this game and you're in that moment, and Tristan Muyumba was playing as well as he was and still had the energy and probably said he could continue, you keep rolling with it and you adjust. And the adjustment was pull Sejdic, get even more athletic in the middle of the pitch. You have Alonso who can sit deeper. Hosechu can step forward a little bit more, and Muyumba can really go forward. Don't have to come back and defend as much. Step forward. Try to make things happen in the attacking half. And I thought he did a good job of that. So it's a game that drives you insane. And this is the hardest thing about this game. And look, it's easy to yell, and it's easy to stomp your feet, and it's easy to throw things about it. But this game is one where the better team does not advance in the tournament. And you put yourself in the situation. You gave up a goal off of a mistake. You can't do that. You gave up 4 goals in Miami. Can't do that. The response wasn't good enough there and you didn't make the adjustments there. That's why you're out of the competition. The frustrating thing is the quality of play does not match the results. And that's untenable for a long period of time. And it's a very difficult spot because if the quality of play is not good and the results are not good, easy decisions. If the quality of play is not good and the results are good, which does happen, happens plenty of times, that's untenable as well. That's not going to continue. You're going to get found out. Things are going to go against you. When the quality of play is good and the results are not, that's the toughest thing because you expect it to start breaking your way. You expect to get some breaks somewhere. You expect mistakes to stop happening, and they're not. It's not mistakes from what you're set up to do. It's not mistakes from what you're doing to prepare the team. It's individual players making mistakes in key moments. And there's been too many of those this season from good players. And it can't continue because now you're at the point of the season, you're out of the Open Cup. You're out of the League's Cup. You have one trophy left. Supporter Shield, not going to happen. Cincinnati's got a big cushion. You have one trophy left. It's MLS Cup. It's all about results. Nothing else matters. And you're not going to sacrifice quality of play, obviously, to think you're going to get better results. But whatever you do, you have to get better results. And that's the challenging part of where this team is right now. And they got 3 weeks to stew over it.
Yes, they do. Man of the match brought to you by Heineken. Thiago Almada, the Atlanta United goal scorer. You heard Donnell Suggs down in the media room ask Pineda if he felt like, other than the guy in Miami, as Donnell put it,
I like how he put that.
Is Almada the best player in the league? And, again, he showed his class tonight. Unfortunate that he could not have put that other one past the goalkeeper, Warado, in regulation because Warado had to make a big save on a deep free kick.
Yeah.
About 35 yards, and Almada forced him to make a very tough save. Otherwise, we're talking about Almada with a brace. We're talking about Charlotte coming here on Wednesday.
He tried to catch Orado because it's all set up for a play to the back post because the free kick's pretty wide. And Almada sees that he's got an angle and he's got the confidence to try to go for that and nearly pulled it off. He had the goal, and it's a great goal. It's kind of a poacher's goal. It's a great finish from the top of the 18. Just takes it first time after Mosquera is able to make something happen. He also created 3 chances. He was 3 of 5 on the dribble, 54 of 61 in his passes. I think one of the numbers that jumps out to me is 17 of 20 on the long passes, switching the point of attack, opening the team up. He earned 3 free kicks. Thiago Almada did everything he could in this game. He tried to put the team on his back, and I think that's something that young players, it's sometimes hard to do, and I think he's growing more and more comfortable in doing that and being a leader on this team. I thought he had a great connection with Muyumba. What Gonzalo said about those players to combine with in the middle, it's very important, and I think this team, as it is now with Mosquera in the group, and the window's still open and there could be additions, but with Mosquera in the group, with Muyumba in the group, I think you're in a really good spot with that group. I think you've improved. I really do. But can you get even better? Hopefully you can add even more before the window shuts.
Reportedly, according to Doug Robertson of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, 2 more signings in this window. And I think Garth Lagerwey and Carlos Bocanegra have been pretty transparent in that one of those signings is likely to be a winger because they still really haven't done anything to address the departure of Luis Araujo. But we'll get into that later. The man of the match, again, Thiago Almada, brought to you by Heineken. The statistical recap brought to you by Piedmont, official healthcare partner of Atlanta United. Shots 15-6 Atlanta. Shots on target 4-3 Atlanta. Possession 60-40 Atlanta. Key passes 12-5 Atlanta. Expected goals 0.89 to 0.46 Atlanta. Each team with 6 corners. Atlanta won 54% of the duels. Fouls 18-15 cruises. I thought the referee, for the most part, did a good job tonight. Although, again, I do wonder about that first half handball and Yako getting stepped on at the top of the 18 there in the second half. And what the VAR Benjamin Pineda of Costa Rica saw on his end of the monitor, wherever that is. I don't know if they're at Hawkeye or if they're somewhere else for this tournament. So anyhow, that is the statistical recap brought to you by Piedmont, official healthcare partner of Atlanta United. Well, the highlights coming up next. Atlanta United eliminated in penalties tonight by Cruz Azul, 1-1 and 5-4 on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
We all deserve easy mornings. Meet Daily Harvest, the easiest way to conquer your morning with quick, nourishing, and delicious food. Made with sustainably sourced fruits and veggies and delivered right to your door. Their strawberry and peach smoothie or apple and cinnamon oat bowl are the perfect addition to my morning routine. So don't wait. Go to dailyharvest.com and enter promo code HARVEST for up to $65 off your first order. That's dailyharvest.com, promo code HARVEST for up to $65 off.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Now through July 30th, new customers can get 200 megabit internet on the Xfinity 10G network for just $35 a month for 2 years with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Summer means hotter days. Avoid using heat-generating appliances like stoves and dishwashers during the day. Use them during off-peak hours in the evening to minimize the effects of heat and save on electric costs. Late evening and early morning is also the best time to water plants and lawns, as water is less prone to evaporation. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Hop into Vons today and see what you've been missing. Give us an opportunity to show you our great selection and everyday low prices. Appliances, Vons value price, $249. Lift chairs starting at $799. Mattresses, Serta, Simmons, Corsicana. Vons value price at $199 per set. No credit, low credit, build it at Vons today. We offer 4-month layaway, 12 months no interest financing for qualified guests. We also offer rent to own with easy approval. Remember, if you didn't buy it at Vons, you paid too much.
It's important to make sure you're hitting on draft picks. We know how you can get set back if you miss on draft picks. Can't afford to miss on high draft picks, obviously. You can't afford to miss really on any first-round draft picks, period. So without all those reasons being said, I think there is more pressure on the offensive side of the football to perform this year.
Subscribe to Peachtree Football, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
This sports update is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Texas Pro Baseball team is holding on to first place in their division after a strong start coming out of All-Star Weekend. Texas is facing interstate rival Houston and San Diego this week in hopes to keep their hot streak alive and shift their focus to the second half of the season. For all your auto part needs, shop your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Win today, win now, win big with Oscar's, Jack's Pub, and J&J Gaming. Brand new machines, new games, win big and have fun. I just won. Enjoy happy hour Monday through Friday from 4 to 6. $5 Tito's and Captain, $4 White Claws, $4 23-ounce domestic drafts, 95-cent wings, half-price appetizers. Oscar's, Jack's Pub, and J&J Gaming. Win now, win big. Oscar's Pub and Grill, 5980 East State Street, Rockford, and Jack's Pub, 4160 North Perryville Road, Loves Park.
I tell you, the folks at Zero Buzz must be feeling great this summer because the July summer sale is fabulous. 15% off all cleaning services. Got to mention me, and you got to mention the game. Sandra from the game told me that I can get my carpets cleaned, my area rugs cleaned, all the upholstered furniture, the tile, the air ducts, everything 15% off. It really is a perfect time to book. ZeroResAtlanta.com. You can pick your time and your day, or if you'd like to call, you can go 770-242-1313. Say, Sandra's told me to call. I want my air ducts cleaned, and I would also like the area rug to be picked up. And, oh, yeah, of course, the carpet. They do it better than anybody. No harsh chemicals are coming into your house, and it's going to look like a brand new house. I'm telling you, it is the best time to clean your carpets in the summer. Tell them I sent you, ZeroResAtlanta.com, or call them 404-242-1313. That's Zero Res.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Now through July 30th, new customers can get 200 megabit internet on the Xfinity 10G network for just $35 a month for 2 years with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Odyssey's I'm Listening is our commitment to more mental health conversations. Here's Corey Taylor of Slipknot on getting the help you need.
When people feel like they can't get any help, that's when they isolate and that's when they hurt themselves. Find what works. If it's medication, it's medication. If it's therapy, it's therapy. If it's both. But don't be afraid to try both. You know, there's nothing wrong with admitting that you need help.
Talk saves lives. For more mental health conversations, visit imlistening.org.
MLBshop.com has everything you need to rep the team you believe in, the players you love, and the community you come from. So snag all those hoodies, caps, jerseys, and swag, and wear your pride with style at home, on the streets, and wherever you go. And with exclusive offers every day, you can unapologetically strut your stuff for a price you love as much as your team. Visit MLBshop.com, the official online shop of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Reliable's 45th anniversary, and everyone gets free air conditioning this summer. Get a new heating and cooling system and no payments until 2025. That's 18 months. Get your free consultation by visiting reliableair.com or simply call 770-594-9969. You can also book your appointment online at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button. 45th anniversary for Reliable Heating and Air.
The Atlanta United play here.
WZGC Atlanta, WZGC HD1. Always free on the Odyssey app. Back with more Full-Time Report.
A complete review of today's match on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
In penalties, Cruz Azul 5-4 over Atlanta United in a match that ended 1-1 at the end of regulation. Atlanta United is out of the 2023 Leagues Cup. Cruz Azul moving on to play Charlotte. Charlotte has a home game, but it's not going to be in Charlotte. Reportedly, it's going to be played in Frisco, Texas, because
it's going to be played there.
Bank of America Stadium is tied up next week. I'm not exactly sure for what.
Charlotte posted after they announced that it would be played in Frisco. Charlotte FC on Twitter, on the X, I guess, said due to stadium commitments made before Leagues Cup 2023 was scheduled, Bank of America Stadium is unavailable to host the round of 32. The club made every effort to explore alternative venues in the area, but was unable to secure one in line with the operational requirements of the tournament. There's a football fan fest the night before, and Beyonce is in concert on August 9th.
August 9th.
I guess that would be later on. If
that could actually impact Charlotte's ability to host further rounds,
Yes.
I would imagine.
Yes.
Well, I want to be careful. I once made a comment that got the Bayhive very upset at me, so
don't do that.
I'm not going to stir that hornet's nest.
Don't
But
do that.
Cruz Azul now going to Dallas. They'll probably have the home pitch advantage, to be honest with you.
They absolutely will have it. I don't think there's a huge Charlotte support group in Frisco, Texas. I'm sure there are a lot of Cruz Azul fans there.
One of the big kicks in the stomach with the way this ended tonight for Atlanta United, had they won in penalties, we would be back here Wednesday. Atlanta United, we were not allowed to say this during the match, but I guess the cat's out of the bag now. Atlanta United would have hosted Charlotte on Wednesday had they won. That's just, them's the breaks, I guess. Atlanta United wants to remind you that for each Atlanta United clean sheet this season, they'll donate $2,000 to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. This year's donation total currently $12,000. Let's get to the highlights of the match. Only goal in the first half scored by Cruz Azul. Came in the 20th minute, and it came off a throw-in. We've dissected that goal a couple times now. You heard Gonzalo Pineda asked about it earlier. Here is the goal, which is scored by Moises in the 20th minute. Thrown to the right side of the 18, headed up in the air, under it, Rotondi, pass to a wide-open teammate, shot, score. The wide-open teammate was Augusto Wati, who was not marked. And Atlanta United concedes the first goal again.
Two headers inside the 18. It's a throw-in. The first header finds Lochte, and Robinson and Hernandez both collapse on it. neither one win the header. Hernandez came across, should have stayed where he was. Robinson also should have gotten to the spot first anyway, so Hernandez doesn't come across. Both of them go for it, don't win it, and that leaves Moises on the back post wide open.
Third time in the last 4 competitions, Atlanta United conceded the first goal. They obviously did not win any of those. In the second half, though, momentum clearly on Atlanta United's side. And in fact, prior to the goal scored by Almada in the 75th minute, Cruz Azul had only one shot in the second half. I know some people will argue that game state was part of that, but I think, again, objectively, Atlanta United, once they brought on Edwin Mosquera, they were really opening up Cruz Azul, and Mosquera gets the assist here in the 75th minute on the hot play of the match, brought to you by Scana. This goal by Thiago Almada. Cut back pass. Mosquera takes a touch. Edge of the 6. Drop back. Here's a shot. Score! Thiago Almada! And now Atlanta United is right back in this with 15 minutes to play.
A great ball from Almada to hit it all the way to the opposite side. Lennon keeps it alive. Mosquera drives into the 18, and it falls to Almada at the top of the 18. I don't know if Mosquera necessarily laid it off to him, or if it was maybe knocked away, or if maybe under duress he knocks it back to Almada. But it's a great first-time finish from Thiago Almada, who started the play and finished the play.
For over 20 years, Scana Energy has made it easy for Georgians to receive the best natural gas rates and excellent customer service. Call 877-467-2262 to sign up today. That then led us to the penalty shootout in a do-or-die situation for both of these teams. The winner would go on to play Charlotte. The loser would be eliminated. Atlanta United won the coin toss. They had the opportunity to go first in the shootout. Brooks Lennon up to the spot first. He scores despite the goalkeeper, Morado, getting a hand on it, but he does score. And then Carlos Salcedo hits the crossbar for Cruz Azul, and it's 1-0 after one round to Atlanta United. Tristan Mayumba and Ignacio Rivero both score in the second round. It is then 2-1 to Atlanta United. In the third round, it begins with Miguel Berry. His penalty is saved. A good save by Morado. And Christian Tabot follows that up with a goal for Cruz Azul. 2-2 after 3 rounds. In the fourth round, Thiago Almada scores for Atlanta. Carlos Rotandi scores for Cruz Azul. In the fifth round, Yorgos Yakimakis scores for Atlanta United. That means if Uriel Antuna was saved or missed, Atlanta United would have won. Antuna, after a very elaborate run up to the ball, did score on Brad Guzan. That made it 4-4 after 5 rounds. Now you're essentially in sudden death. And here is how it ended, with Juanjo Parata going to the penalty spot for the beginning of round 6 to Atlanta United. Again, the shootout tied at 4 at this point. Hands on hips for Parata. He looks at the net. He struts up to the ball. He strikes it and misses. Now Cruz Azul can win if they put this one past Brad. And here's how that unfolded, with Augusto Lati going up to the spot for the game winner for Cruz Azul. Again, action at the goal to our right. Guzan standing behind the end line. Lati looking at the ball. He's up to it. He strikes it. He scores. Cruz Azul wins. Atlanta United is done in Leagues Cup. And there you have it. 5-4 in 6 rounds of penalties to Cruz Azul. And again, I know a lot of people are fired up on the Bird app about why was Parata taking a penalty, but we just kind of went through it here in the booth. At that point, when you get beyond your first 5 penalty takers, your options are really down to center backs. Ozzy Alonso was an option at that point. Edwin Mosquera was an option at that point. You're not going to have Brad take a penalty in round 6.
Some teams have goalkeepers who will take them.
I don't.
Not Brad.
Yeah, I don't think Brad Guzan. Although Brad,
not sixth,
former midfielder,
not sixth,
but not sixth. So I mean, if you want to get upset about anything, I really think going after the penalty order and having Parata take one is barking up the wrong tree, in my opinion.
Your options were Edwin Mosquera, Ozzy Alonso, Luis Abram, Miles Robinson, Brad Guzan. Those were your options. When you get past 5, and even in your 5, there is a
Let's go play right now. Orlando leads Santos Laguna 2-1 in that matchup. It's Pumas leading DC United 1-0 early going in the 6th minute. And also Austin FC and Juarez playing in a 0-0 scoring line. That is in the 7th minute of play. Only 5 games on the Leagues Cup schedule. There's more tomorrow. A lot of intra-league matchups, including a big matchup between Toronto and Atlas as well. Monterrey and Seattle also still to come. And the one thing that I think we're seeing right now is that I'm wondering with some of these officiating crews too, you're seeing some frustration from the Mexican side, seeing frustration from the American sides with these hybrid crews. I'm wondering how that'll play out as the later rounds go on.
It's just different. You know, you have to learn to adjust. You have to learn to play the game that you have in front of you and not complain about the referees, just get along with it, quite frankly. And I think that we saw Charlotte FC adjust to the refereeing standard to get away with what they could get away with and some smart tactical fouling. And in the end, I think that doesn't have to be a factor. You've got to play your game. You've got to impose your style. You've got to perform. You don't ever want to be looking back and blaming the referees or the standard of refereeing. You want to focus on the result at hand and making sure you never let the referees interfere with your result.
I just know one thing. It's great, once again, to win in this building and great to have the kind of result that we had. 4-1, Charlotte beats Necaxa. We'll talk this week.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer. The broadcast manager of Tepper Sports is Amy Martin. Brand manager is Def Rickard. His assistant is Colin Hogger. Chief engineer is Ron Tollison. Studio operations by Aaron Tropscheider. And our producer engineer in the booth is Matt Hogan. Charlotte FC is next in action against Cruz Azul on Thursday at Toyota Stadium in Dallas. Kick time is set for 8:30. For Jessica Shawman and Matt Hogan and Aaron Shropshire, our entire crew here. Once again, the final score, Charlotte FC 4, Necaxa 1. I'm Will Pelagic saying, hope you enjoyed as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you on the Charlotte FC Radio Network.